What's up, America? This is Kim and Neil with Geauga Firearms Academy. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to do our part 1 of our series. We're going to continue on Patreon about fitness and nutrition. So let's get started.
Alright guys, so we're really excited to bring this to you, and just to be clear, this is going to be a Patreon exclusive series. This first one we're going to put out for everybody to see, so if you like this or you like where this is going, then come out on Patreon and check it out with us. We are not by any means changing our content. You guys who have followed us for a while, you know we were always trying to give you new stuff, different stuff, experiences that we have. Before we get started,
Big news.
Oh, big news, go with that, yeah.
I'm not just getting fat, I'm actually pregnant.
And we have a new line of shirts coming out. Check those out, okay? For all our pregnant folks. So that's a special edition shirt. Obviously, Kim and I shouldn't say obviously, but we are not doctors.
No.
Not doctors. This is not medical advice. This is experience advice. Because Kim and I both follow what we're going to tell you. And it's worked very well for both of us. And obviously, we're quite a bit different. It's a good thing. And Kim, of course, as she said, is pregnant. So along with that, health is always super paramount, no matter what, but now in particular. We got some show notes, so if you see us looking down at this, it's just so that we get everything out on this video that we want to. And I don't get into a tangent of yapping and go off track. So one thing, a little bit of background and experience that I've had, health and nutrition has always been a big part of my life, and for a very long period of time, I followed more of your traditional bodybuilding type diet where I literally weighed everything. I knew every macro. That's your fats, your proteins, and your carbohydrates. I measured I had an app. I followed them all. I measured them every day. I measured what I drank, everything, okay, to the T. And I got good results. I mean, I was healthy, but not what I should have for years of discipline and hard work. And I'm the guy at the party who's not going to eat the pretzels and just crazy, right? I'm the birthday, and I'm not gonna eat the birthday cake, that guy, right? And I didn't get super fantastic results. I got decent results. And then that put us on put me on a journey on, well, why is that? If someone is that disciplined, right? Why didn't I get like exceptional results? Like maybe there's something more to this, because I've been following all the general advice and all the nutrition gurus out there, and it really wasn't working as well as I thought it should. So that began my journey.
So about 6 years ago, Neil decided to change how he's eating, and I just kept doing my own thing, sticking with the standard way of eating, and making sure I was in a calorie deficit. I was always hungry all the time, and I was in good shape, but not as good a shape as I am now. And then I got really sick about 3 years ago, and I got diagnosed with UC, which is ulcerative colitis, and they put me on medicines, and I felt terrible. And so after a year of that, I was like, no more. I'm gonna give this a try, and it was the best thing I've ever done. So in this video, it's just an introduction. We're not gonna get into the nitty-gritty details, but we're gonna go into some simple ground rules.
Absolutely. Now, when we look at whatever your fitness goals are, it really doesn't matter whether you want to be a triathlon or you just want to lose 5 pounds. Ultimately, we have to look at what is the most important component between the fitness and nutrition. So what does everybody do when they want to lose weight?
They go to the gym.
They're going to go to the gym, right? New Year's resolution, I'm going to the gym. Okay. So what you're saying is your big focus is going to be fitness. And then what do typically people spend money on?
Fitness.
But I mean, what are they paying for?
They're paying for a personal trainer.
A personal trainer. It's the first thing. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna really get serious. I'm gonna pay someone to teach me to work out. Now, here's the thing. If your fitness program is specific to an activity, like you want to be a long distance runner, or you want to, I don't know, be a power lifter, that's a activity specific training. But as far as general health and losing weight, of the two, nutrition trumps physical fitness physical training 100 times over. Okay, I could take somebody who doesn't work out as a couch potato, change their nutrition, and get dramatic results. Unlikely that I'm going to get that same person to get dramatic results through serious working out, which is why if you ever follow through or follow up on the Biggest Losers, most of those people gain their weight back, and that's because one, they got their situation to begin with due to their lifestyle. Then they were literally forced to do this unbelievable amount of training and whatnot, and then they're released to go back on their own. Okay, so you got to find something that's going to fit a lifestyle. You have to be reasonable about this. Does that make sense? But nutrition is the key. And one of the things I always learned long ago, it was a phrase, was you can't outrun a fork. And so that stuck with me forever, and that was all based on the old adage of calories in, calories out, which I've also found is a little bit of BS. Would you agree?
Yeah, they do count, but that's not king. It's definitely not the most important thing.
You can reduce the calories all you want, and at the end of the day, all you're going to do is be really hungry, and ultimately you're not going to get the results long term. That's the key word here, long term, that you want. You're not going to get the health that you want long term, and eventually you're going to go back because you're just constantly being in this starving mode. And it's not the best for the body, okay? And that's really what we want to do, is we want to optimize the body. Your body is a machine, and if you give it the right stuff, which is super important, you'll be surprised at what it's going to be able to do. Now, when I say that the physical fitness is less important, if you don't do anything right now, anything you do is awesome. You don't need a program. You don't need someone to tell you to do X amount of reps. Go do something. Go do burpees. Go run. Go walk. Go jog. Go do what you can do. Jump rope. You don't even have to belong to a gym. What does it matter? Do pull-ups. Do push-ups. Do sit-ups. Anything that you're doing that you're not doing now is going to dramatically help your physical abilities, okay? You're going to burn more calories, you're going to be healthy because you're putting your body under stress, and that's how you get bigger and stronger. In case anyone doesn't understand how that works, the real basics here, if I break down a muscle, it's going to repair itself, and when it repairs itself, it's going to be stronger because I'm adding stress to the body. The body's a machine, it's going, whoa, I need to be able to do this better, and that's what that soreness is when you feel when you work out. So any physical activity is going to be great.
So let's talk about some common myths.
Very common. Very, very common. Have you ever heard somebody say, I want to get a six-pack?
And then they start doing a bunch of crunches.
I'm going to do a bunch of crunches. Okay, that is never going to get you a six-pack. And here's the great news. You have a six-pack. If you are the 900-pound person who gets cut out of their house, they have a six-pack. That's like saying, I want to get a bicep. I mean, unless you're born with some genetic issue, which that's not the point. If you're a human being that is genetically normal, physiologically normal, you have a bicep, okay? Now, how big you want your bicep to be, how strong you want your bicep to be, but it's always there. So what's the difference between someone who you can see their six-pack or their muscles in their abdomens and someone that you can't?
They have a layer of fat on top of it.
Okay, so if I was the most ripped bodybuilder in the world and I put a heavy winter coat on there, could you see my muscle definition? No. Did my muscles go away? Did I lose my six-pack? No. One real quick thing too about genetics, like when you say six-pack, not everybody, when I say six-pack, your abdomen, your structure of your muscles may look different. Some people have an 8-pack, right? The structure of your abdomens can vary from person to person. And I'll give you a perfect example. You guys at home, you can see this too. On your bicep, right? So if I look at my bicep, I have at the end of the face here of the bicep to that and my elbow, I have a flat spot, okay? Now if I were to take my dad and bring him in here, he'd have the same spot because genetically that's the way our muscles are set up. You'll see some guys where their muscle goes all the way or much further and you don't have that flat spot. You can look professional bodybuilders. Some of them have that flat spot, some of them don't. It has nothing to do with their workout program, how they lift, their technique of a curl. It's genetics. I cannot change that. Mm-hmm. And the only point I'm trying to make here is that the way your muscular system works and looks, okay, is going to vary a little bit. It's genetics. And that comes into how we store fat.
Mm-hmm. Some people store fat differently. Like I don't store a lot of fat in my stomach, but some people store more fat in their stomach and have really thin arms and legs. So everyone's just genetically a little different.
Right. So for me, like the men's spare tire there, if I got fat, that would be one of, that'd be one of the first areas that I gain in. Also, if you guys do work out, you also know, men and female, you have certain techniques, certain exercises, certain muscle groups you're very strong in. For example, for me, I have a terrible bench press. It's not my strong suit. I've got very strong legs. On the flip side of that, I'll take a guy in the gym who crushes me in bench press and then we'll go do push-ups and I'll blow them away. Because for whatever reason, I'm good at push-ups, terrible at bench press. Just the structure of my body, no matter how hard I work out, I can improve, but it's never going to be a strong suit based on my genetics.
Another important thing I think that's really important, we touched on a little bit before, is lifestyle. When I was looking for a change, I didn't want a diet. I think using that word diet is something where you're always thinking about what you're missing out on, and there's like some kind of trial, or I'm going to do this for 30 days and then I'm going to stop, which is silly because yeah, maybe you try something for 30 days and you lose all this weight and then you stop and you're going to just gain it back. So that's silly. I wanted something that I could sustain the rest of my life, and it would be a lifestyle.
Yeah, and to add to that, if you're doing something, I'm hoping you're doing it to the betterment, the better health of your body. So if you did something that improved your overall health, why would you go back to where you were when you weren't as healthy? I don't understand the philosophy there. Like, I'm going to eat this shake 12 times a day and then I'm going to go, well, really?
One thing that really drives me crazy is that people, you know, if they see someone lose a lot of weight, if they say, oh, I took a pill, or I did this shake, or I did this workout program, everyone's all on it and they're ready to spend all their money. But if you just say, no, I've just made a lifestyle change and I've done this, this, and this, and there's no gym membership special program I'm paying for, or some special shake or some special pill, all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, no. It's like, you got to figure out something that's lifestyle. It's not like there's no magic pill that's going to change you, or some shake or workout program.
Yeah, guys, it's 2020 almost. If there was a magic pill, everyone would have taken it already. All right, I'm going to take the last point. The last point is doctor's advice. It's as crappy as most cops' advice on shooting. Okay? I've made this connection before on all our shooting videos about cops are not shooters. 100 cops in a room, 10 of them are shooters, the rest are not. It's very evident. Ask any cop. It's one of their two most nervous times, or whatever bad situation they've been in, and when they got to qualify. Okay, it's a tool, and they're not experts on it most of the time, unfortunately. And due to budgets, they don't train a lot. The point I'm trying to make here is, if you didn't know anything about guns and you went to your neighbor who was a cop, who probably also doesn't know much about guns, and was given a specific brand of gun, then shot it for the first time, and that's what they've been using, and they don't know anymore because they're not gun people and they don't care. It's just a tool. They would say, yeah, this is the tool. And you automatically give them the credentials, because they're police officers, that they know all there is to know about guns, when the truth of the matter is, one has nothing to do with the other. The same connection can be made with doctors. Now, I'm not saying that there's not doctors out there that don't do research and don't have additional training, but your typical, ask your doctor, if you've got any friends in the family who are doctors, ask them how much nutritional training that they got generally in their med school. Okay? I'll spoiler alert. Okay, so the point is, just because they're a doctor and they got the white coat, they tell you to eat this, this, and that, or do this for your nutrition, and you go, yep, he's a doctor or she's a doctor, that's the answer, that's what they told me to do. Based on what? Based on what? Because they wear a white coat? Because they wear a badge, I know everything about guns? Not necessarily. So the point is, don't just take mainstream information and just say, well, that's all correct. If everything that we know about mainstream nutrition was correct, think about why we have one of the fattest nations in the country, in the world,
fatter.
And we're getting fatter. And I know there's a lot of other contributing factors, but all I'm going to try to tell you, we're going to drill down really deep in the Patreon series, is what you follow as your general guidelines of nutrition are not correct. That is not how the body is designed to work, and you can prove that to yourself by changing it up and watching the results.
So what can people expect in our Patreon series?
So we're going to break it up into two individual components. We're going to have obviously nutrition. So we're going to tell you what we eat, why we eat it, when we eat it, how much we eat, and then we're going to do the physical training. I'm going to show you a routine that you guys can do anywhere. Okay, and then we'll add to it depending on the feedback and how much you guys want to see as far as adding other additional equipment. For the most part, I would say that you can achieve pretty much any physical fitness goal you want with less than $200 worth of stuff. Okay, and you don't even need that. But we're going to go from bare bones, step it up, and then what you could even do if you went to a commercial gym. Okay, so all of that is going to be available on Patreon.
We hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, like, share, comment. We love to hear from you guys. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe here on YouTube.
And we're not selling a magic pill either.
You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram. We put all of our premium content, like more of these series, on Patreon, along with a lot more other stuff about shooting. And until next time, remember, it's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.